Now, look, I want to preface my comments and thoughts on this topic by stating that this isn't going to be some male chauvinistic or misogynistic rant about how women can't crack it in a male dominated sport per se. But we got to call a spade when it needs to be called. Toni Breidinger has been terrible in her rookie truck series season so far. And the fact that she usually runs outside the top 25 on a weekly basis while being in one of the best cars or trucks that you want to say per se in terms of DGR Tricon Garage is pretty ridiculous and embarrassing. It's even more embarrassing when you consider the fact that Tricon Garage is a 4-car team and she's been the worst driver on the team the entire season. One of her teammates is a rookie in Rogerio who's literally beating her across the board in terms of statistics all season long. And another driver on the team who's basically the best driver in the truck series this season, Corey Heim, who's basically had one of the best seasons in truck series history right now in terms of pace. So there's really no excuse for her to be in the position that she's in, seeing the fact that there's another rookie on your team who's in the same boat and he's beating you all across the board. So we're being completely honest, she hasn't really shown any real promise throughout her NASCAR career so far. I mean, what would most hardcore NASCAR fans say is the best moment of her career so far? What? A 15th place finish, one truck series race at Kansas? Finishing 4th in points last year in the ARCA series with Venturini Motorsports, which is the best team in ARCA, against a skeleton crew of competition? Really? Now I get it. There's obviously other reasons and factors as to why she was put into the truck series ride compared to other more deserving drivers. She has a complexion for the connection. She has a big following on social media, which makes her very marketable. But when does the whole spiel about marketability versus actual talent and skill come into question? It doesn't make sense to keep pounding the same proverbial drum and pushing inadequate drivers into rides they don't deserve or didn't earn. Haven't they learned yet? Did they learn from the Danica Patrick experiment? No. What about the Natalie Decker experiment? No. What about the Haley Deegan experiment? No. Now look, I'll give Danica and Haley Deegan a little bit of leeway and credit. At least Danica has shown some ability, got a pole at Daytona. It's shown a little bit of glimpses in terms of showing some actual ability in NASCAR. But that's not really saying much. And when it comes to Toni Breidinger, she hasn't really shown anything in NASCAR so far. I mean, think about some of the names that were available as free agents going into this year in terms of who could have been put in that ride. What about an Anthony Alfredo? What about a Chandler Smith? Hell, what about a driver like Chase Purdy who's not even in NASCAR right now? All three of these drivers are more deserving than her to be in that ride, but we understand why. We get it. We get why those guys were not put in those rides. We understand it. The bottom line is, Toni Breidinger has been in NASCAR for years now and hasn't shown anything from a talent perspective to warrant the opportunity she's been given so far. 2 top 20 finishes through 14 races and good equipment with a good team just isn't going to cut it. As for the rest of the season plays out, one has to wonder and ask the proverbial question: how long before her overall saving grace of marketability finally start to catch up with her and no longer pay off? These are the questions that need to be answered going forward if she wants to sustain her ride and career in NASCAR going forward. Now, at the end of the video, I want to answer a question that's probably going to be thrown in the comment section as this video gets posted. Do you hate Toni Breidinger? No. Do I dislike Toni Breidinger? No. Trust me, I want to see a female driver finally have success in NASCAR. It would open a whole new demographic of fandom, maybe bring in fans that are not as well versed or understanding of motorsports going forward. But sadly, based off of what I've seen so far when it comes to Toni Breidinger's career, I don't believe she's the one for the job. Could she prove me wrong going forward and finally show some promise for once in NASCAR? Possible. Will it happen? I highly doubt it. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, until we meet again.